Today's fashion industry is huge, the world's third largest manufacturing sector, contributing $2.4 trillion to the global economy. But at the same time, the industry is not sustainable. It's the world's second most polluting industry after oil, and every stage of its value chain is harmful both to people and to the planet.
They end up dumping them in Africa.
Ultimately, it is going to end up in the landfill.
Dumping is always cheaper. It's always the cheaper option.
Textile waste to landfills is one of the fastest growing categories of waste.
It has become too dirty.
We are burning it, but still, the boiler is too much for us.
As an African, I'm concerned about this environment.
What for you guys makes living hard here?
The scent alone is very bad. Yeah, the smell.
The smell of the rubbish.
Yeah.
But from everywhere here.
Yeah. It's very bad.
This documentary is brought to you by CeraV, harnessing the potential of every unwanted garment. The number of garments made annually has doubled since the year 2000, with some brands currently releasing about 3,000 clothes per day. Production always exceeds demand, and over 30% of clothes remain unsold, making $100 billion of wasted virgin materials every year. Fast fashion has made it normal to buy the newest and cheapest clothes, wear them once, and throw them away. Fashion and disposability are linked in the mind of today's average consumer.
Do you ever impulse buy? Absolutely. What was the last thing you bought that now you see and you're like, what was I thinking?
Clothing, always.
What'd you buy?
A lot of stuff.
Did you need anything?
No.
Just looking around and you bought a few
Yes,
things.
I bought a lot of things. Leggings, shirts, socks, underwear.
Most of these styles will end up trashed in landfill. We're all buying too much, 400% more since the 1980s.
The quality isn't all that great, but the prices are fantastic.
Annually, the industry produces 92 million tons of textile waste, of which more than 78 million tons are thrown into landfills. These clothes find their way into our water bodies, polluting our lands and the air which we live and depend on. 87% of all fiber input used for clothing is ultimately incinerated or sent to a landfill, the equivalent of a full garbage truck every second of the day, and this waste can take centuries to decompose.
The team found brands including Nike, M&S, and even high-end brands like Yves Saint Laurent among the waste. Some have been found covered in vomit, animal hair and stains, or include old uniforms from Tesco and McDonald's with name badges still attached. Among the bales are recognizable European and international brands, including New Look, Old Navy, Nike, H&M, Gap, and Nine West, many of which make green claims about their clothing.
Today's hottest style inevitably becomes tomorrow's landfill, and the industry loses about $500 billion a year due to fashion waste, making it the most pressing fashion problem right now. Unfortunately, fashion waste is not given the attention it deserves, and the current attempts are failing. Most fabrics are made from a type of plastic called polyester, which of course is harmful to the environment and is the backbone of fashion waste. Research and development for sustainable materials is ongoing, and the world is tending towards new textile options produced from natural, renewable, and biodegradable sources, a trend called regenerative fashion. Banana trees, orange peels, pineapple leaves, coffee beans, and lotus flowers have been found to be sustainable fiber sources for the global fashion industry. The challenge here is much research is still needed, as many garments from these sources are only biodegradable under controlled industry conditions. Also, brands are still unable to produce shoes and clothes which are 100% made from these sustainable sources, partly because it is very expensive. Polyester and other non-biodegradable sources are often present in the fabric mixture, negating the benefits of natural fibers.
It could spread over the world if more machines are found and developed that actually makes such thin material that you can use it for the clothing industry, because currently it's quite hard to do so and not a lot of machines have been developed, or it's costly.
Although these biodegradable fiber sources can reduce the volume of our landfills, how long till these technologies are perfected? How long till they become affordable? And what happens to our ever-increasing landfills before then? Attempts are being made to convert consumer buying habits from cheap, disposable fast fashion to fewer garments that are better made and longer lasting, a trend called slow fashion. But tackling fashion waste requires more than a shift in consumers' shopping habits. Besides, the longer lasting garments are extremely expensive, and dresses of good quality can easily navigate their way into the landfills anytime the owner considers them old, because the durability of a dress is highly subjective. Upcycling is becoming a popular trend as brands are refurbishing unwanted clothes into new clothes, with polyester, cotton, and linen from unwanted clothes being recycled and reused. Unfortunately, though circularity is gaining prominence, less than 15% of all fashion waste is being resold, reused, recycled, or upcycled into new garments. Besides, all upcycled clothes and shoes will still end up in the landfills one day. From disposal to circularity to consumption and back to disposal, the cycle continues. Circularity removes clothes from the landfills, creates new clothes and shoes, only to dump them back into the landfills after a while. It temporarily reduces the visibility of the problem, leaving the fundamental waste problem unchanged.
This is what we are all looking at, and we are burning it. All the time we are burning it, but still, the boiler is too much for us. It's giving us sickness, fever, headache, and much other things.
The bottom line is that if we want to transform the global fashion industry, we have to change business as usual. And by business as usual, I'm talking not only about the way clothes are made and used, but also how they're reused.
A real solution to fashion waste is one that breaks out of this cycle, completely removing the waste from the fashion value chain. At CeraV, we believe that the only way out of fashion waste crisis is to take out the billions of clothes in our landfills and channel them to another industry. And that is exactly what we are working on. This will spark resource optimization and create a more sustainable future for the fashion industry and our planet. With us, fashion waste, the most pressing problem in the fashion industry, will no longer be a problem, but also the solution and a game changer for our planet's environmental issues. We are a research-driven company constantly exploring and implementing new and innovative ways to transform fashion waste into something useful. Our current focus is on manufacturing durable, eco-friendly towels from unwanted clothing, which will revolutionize the world of sustainable fashion. By utilizing our cement towels made from shredded clothes, we not only address the fashion waste problem, but also significantly reduce the use of traditional cement in its production. Cement is a material that is greatly contributing to the carbon emissions worldwide. And by reducing the use of cement, we can effectively decrease carbon emissions in the atmosphere and completely eliminate clothing waste. Our innovative approach not only tackles the environmental impact of fashion, but also mitigates the carbon footprint associated with cement production. CeraV's cement tiles have an additional positive impact on the construction industry and infrastructural development, particularly in Africa. By providing cheaper and more durable tiles, we contribute to cost-effective construction solutions. This affordability enables improved infrastructural development, allowing for the creation of sustainable and resilient structures across the continent. This synergy allows us to address interconnected issues simultaneously, creating a positive impact on our environment, improving the construction industry, and paving the way for a more sustainable future with enhanced infrastructural development beginning in Africa. By doing so, we aim to not only minimize textile waste, but also inspire a paradigm shift in the industry. To end fashion waste and environmental degradation, we must rethink what we do with unwanted garments, and only then can the mountains of discarded clothing waste become a memory of the past. Fashion does not have to come at the expense of the planet.